We'll take every measure to make sure that your food is not contaminated. Absolutely. Yes, I'm taking notes. Yes. Our kitchen staff will be notified. Absolutely. Welcome to my channel. I'm Stacey. Today I'm going to talk about going out to eat on a special diet. Again. See, I originally did a video about this topic about 2 years ago. I was all dressed up to go on a dinner date and I filmed the video and I never told you guys how it went. I have a slightly different attitude about going out to eat than some other bloggers. There's like two camps, you know. There's the camp that's like, it's possible and you can do it and here's how. I'm of the camp like, I know too much. I know way too much. It's not that I'm being like a Debbie Downer, it's that I'm being realistic. I know. When you go to a restaurant, you're probably gonna get cross-contaminated. The chances are very, very great. I've worked in restaurants ranging from corporate, very well-run, squeaky clean, the best training programs, very structured, very supervised, to tiny mom and pop, God only knows what's going on in there, you know, freaking place. The guy's got a cigarette this long hanging over the food and, you know, drinking beer while he's cooking. The whole gaboot. And I mean, I can't even tell you how many restaurants I've worked in. I started working in restaurants when I was 18. I worked at Chi-Chi's Mexican restaurant. I worked at Chongqing Chinese restaurant. I worked in a really nice family-run restaurant for 5 years, and then I worked at like an Italian upscale place for 5 years, and then I managed another Italian place for 1.5 years. A corporate, very well-run corporate place. Places where they serve pub food. I can't even remember all the freaking places I worked. I've had a lot of jobs. Every single place I worked, I saw things that made me not want to eat there. I'm not talking about, like, if I didn't have a celiac and I could have a trace of gluten, I would eat there. I'm not saying that they're dirty or bad. Just from things like making homemade gnocchi, you know, and they're rolling the homemade gnocchi and there's flour all over and it's coating the plates, to the little salt dish they have. The chefs have this little dish of salt and they're just in there with it, just in the salt, in the salt, in the salt, and they're touching bread, they're touching pizza crusts, they're touching tomatoes, and then they're in the salt thing, in the salt dish. And the same with like the tongs. You know, I've gone over that in the other video, but try not to repeat any of the same content in this one. When things get busy in that kitchen, it all goes out the window. One of the best places I worked, one of the most outstanding, good reputation restaurants I worked. It was the middle of the lunch rush and there was a big party and all the food was coming out and one of the sandwiches fell on the ground and it would have messed up everything had that one person not had their food brought out in front of them. And the kitchen, like the kitchen was so slammed, the manager picked it up off the floor and said 2-second rule. This was like the best place I worked. This was like the cleanest, best run place. It happens. I don't trust any restaurant at all, and it's because of what I've seen. And the thing is, it's their job to be confident and to sell their service to you. It's their job, it's their reputation, it's their livelihood. They're not going to say, they're not going to be honest with you. They're going to say, of course, ma'am, absolutely. We'll take every measure to make sure that your food is not contaminated. Absolutely. Yes, I'm taking notes. Yes. Our kitchen staff will be notified. Absolutely. The place I worked at was corporate. They had very strict regulations in place for allergy. I mean, so upstanding, so admirable that they even had these policies in place, because no other place I worked at had these policies. And it was basically like, if a customer says they have an allergy, you put first of all, you put a red note on that ticket. It's in all bright capitals, it's in the kitchen. Second of all, a manager has to review the dish before it comes to the table. And there was like another policy in place. This was a few years ago. But there were all these steps in place they took to make sure that everyone with an allergy was protected. Yeah, I went to this restaurant to eat on my day off. I went to eat I took my grandmother out to eat, and they gave me a burger with tomato seeds on it. They must have pulled the tomato off. I saw the seeds before I ate it. I told her I was allergic to tomatoes, so yeah. So how did it go when I went out to eat with that guy? Fine, it went fine. That was like the worst meal I ever had though. So, you know, what do you get? Okay, I didn't get the side dish because that gives them more opportunities to mess up, and then you get to quiz them about what kind of oil they're using or this and that. Oh no, 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 no. I was like, you know, I'll just have the steak, no sauce, no seasoning, cook it in a saute pan. You don't want it on the grill. Everything was on that grill. So I got this little thin, it wasn't a big nice steak, it was like a little thin steak, and it was, I asked for it medium rare to medium or something, and it was like well, and I was literally worried I was gonna choke to death on it. And I'm eating and I'm like, yeah, it's good, thank you. Yeah, it was awful, awful hockey puck of a steak. Ugh. I would have had such a better meal at home. So that's how that date went, and that guy, like, nothing ever came of him. Yeah, I don't want to eat at a restaurant. I don't trust them. I don't believe that you can effectively communicate with the staff and get, like, yes, sometimes you are going to get lucky. You will get lucky sometimes. You're playing Russian roulette. If you have celiac, you're playing Russian roulette. And it's not hard to have a social life and not go out to eat. I've been doing it for, I went out to eat one time this year, and I didn't, oh yeah, the year before I had some mussels at an oyster bar. Oh yeah, like I'll get oysters anywhere. I'll get oysters. They just open them and give them to you. But yeah, like maybe once a year I'll go out and I'll have oysters or a steak at a nice steakhouse. I won't ever go back to that mid-price place. It's got to be like a $50 steak, and then it's like once a year. And I have an active social life, and you know, just dating. I'm just like, yeah, I'm a cheap date, haha. No, I don't say that, but I'm just like, oh, anything but food, please, you know. And guys don't care. They don't have to spend money on your dinner. Just go and have a, you don't even have to drink. You can just go somewhere where you would normally have a cocktail and you have like soda water. I don't think it's just that easy as, oh, you just tell the server and just tell them you're allergic and no. I mean, I know people that have life-threatening shellfish allergies that have been cross-contaminated over and over. I don't know why they still go out to eat at restaurants. I wouldn't. It's the whole thing with them touching the tongs to every single thing that's on the grill, and the grill is touching everything, and the salt is touching everything, and their gloves and their hands and everything's touching everything. And they don't stop to change gloves or use a new cutting board when it's busy. It all goes out the window, man. You're just getting a little bit of everything. Okay, going out to eat. Yeah, I don't recommend it. Sorry to be a Debbie Downer. I'll see you guys soon. Try to get a video out to you next week. Until then, stay healthy.